When I started Fiverr, I followed the infamous Alexandra Fasulo's advice on how to get started and how to succeed. About 6 months after I joined, she announced that she had quit Fiverr because it was no longer the plan that it once was. Which is pretty much the story of all of our lives right now for those of us who joined Fiverr later in the game. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Amber Campbell. I am an author and a freelance editor over on Fiverr. And today I want to talk to you guys about my full first 2 years on Fiverr, how I've been doing, how I'm succeeding, even if it's not on a grander scale, and why I think it's still possible to succeed on Fiverr. So let's dive right into it. If you want to hear about my first year on Fiverr, I do have a video up on that. I'll card it, link it down below. And I also do want to preface that if you are looking for a video that's going to teach you how to make 6 figures on Fiverr in less than 6 months, this is not the video for you. So you're welcome to click off if that's not what you're looking for. Otherwise, I do have timestamps put down below so you can click around as you need to. So first, I do want to talk about sustainability and accessibility. So my rates and the time frames that I offer my jobs may not lead to me making those larger figures in a year, but as anyone in the publishing industry knows, you don't do this for the money. Most people do not make 6 figures a year or even 7 figures. So this is something that I do because I love doing it and I want to help other authors succeed in any way that they may need it in that time. Now, for those who may have just jumped on because you saw this was a Fiverr video, I do want to talk about my services a little bit. I am a freelance editor, so I specialize in young adult and middle grade manuscripts. I pretty much cover every genre, but I do have topics I will not touch with a 10-foot pole, and those can all be found on my FAQ, on my Fiverr profile, and in the gig descriptions. So my degree is in creative writing. I tutored and taught the structural, grammatical, and mechanical aspects of writing to college students, and I spent nearly 2 years with a literary agent as her YA reader, kind of scanning through the manuscripts, seeing which ones that she should represent, or reading through her query letters to see which ones she should request a partial or a full manuscript on. I also do read new adult, however, that is very dependent on the storyline and the genre. So I love new adult, contemporary, mystery, and romance, but I'm much more particular with things like fantasy, and the fantasies of some genres, when they're an older protagonist. That is just my preference. So I offer 4 services, which again goes against the grain of what the Fiverr greats have told us, but they're the ones that work for me. My most popular is beta reading, which is when I go into a full manuscript, read it through, provide a full reader report, and if they want inline comments, that's an additional fee. I do copy editing, query letter assistance, and manuscript evaluations for the first up to 30 pages. My beta reading, as I mentioned, is by far the most popular, and it actually has been since I started on Fiverr. Nothing else has even come close. I did once offer copywriting services, like writing your job description, things like that. All the clients just felt very corporate, as they should, because that's the industry that they're in, and it really wasn't something I wanted to continue, so I no longer offer any services outside of manuscript editing or assisting authors in furthering their journey. So I love watching videos like this with charts, whether it's like Fiverr or you like self-publishing things, so I definitely want to include a chart with this. I signed up for Fiverr in August of 2022, but I got my first order in October, which is why I do these Fiverr update videos in September as a little sweet spot. So in the last 2 years, I've completed 148 orders, and of those, 144 pertain to the above job postings. So out of those 144, 76 of my projects have been beta reads, 18% have been query letter assistance, whether that's reviewing or writing, they're all included, and the last 6% of my orders were either the manuscript evaluations or copy edits, with a singular order more in the evaluation column. So when I say beta reading is my bread and butter, I mean it, which is why I strive to keep my prices affordable for authors regardless of their stage of their journey. I have encountered some who offer, beta reading for like $25, but the way I do it, I sit there and read it. Depending on the length of the manuscript, it could take me anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, even longer if it's over 100,000, which would be a custom order from me. So I do want to make sure that I am paid for the hours I spend reading, as well as my time and expertise going into the reader report. My reader reports are often 4 to 9 pages in length, again, depending on both the word count of the manuscript as well as how much work I think it still needs, or whether it's pretty much ready to query or self-publish. For my copy editing, I am set at industry standards, which right now is like 0.008 cents per word, I believe, or roughly $40 per 5,000 words. So that's what I offer. So if my very exact cent is off, it should equal out to $40 per 5,000 words. Everything else is set up so that I can put food on my table while also still helping the authors at whatever stage of their journey they're in. For example, it costs twice as much for me to write your query letter as it does for me just to review it. So if that's where you're at, that's all the money you have, I can definitely review it, and I will go above and beyond to make sure that everything is where it should be to hopefully gain an agent's attention. As far as my speed, this kind of goes back to my sustainability. I usually finish most beta reading projects within like 2 days. I know there are some readers out there who will read 1 or 2 books or manuscripts a day, and had this been 10 years ago, I probably would have been in that same field. However, now I just know that's not something that I would enjoy doing, as well as something I just don't have the time for, and I would be severely cutting other things out. So for me, I am not on Fiverr to hit like, 350,000 in a year like Alexandra Fasulo or Georgia Austin. So this is where I feel comfortable and where I am still paying my bills with some leftover. So that's kind of where I come from. So if you're looking for more of a secondary income, my channel definitely talks more about that. And in terms of using Fiverr or freelancing services of any kind as a secondary, not a primary source of income. I do still have a day job for anybody wondering. Also, I do not participate in promoted gigs. I do not talk about them on the channel. I've gotten a handful of comments asking me to talk about them. It is just a money pit. You're going to pay to have them promoted, and Fiverr will push them out, and then as soon as you stop paying, you drop to 0. Whereas I consistently see 2,000 to 4,000 impressions a week on my gigs, and anywhere from 20 to 40 clicks. And of those, I will get anywhere from 1 to 4 orders, which is great for the amount of time that I have to give to this work. So I don't believe in promoted gigs. I think all you're doing is giving even more money to Fiverr after they're already taking 20% of every project that you complete on their platform. Now, I will say, I think Fiverr was once a great platform for beginners, but now if you're in copywriting, video, regardless of what you do with video or anything like that, that YouTubers have promoted in like the last 3 years, you're going to be a small fish in a gigantic ocean, and you are not going to be seen. Versus my niche is in book editing, which is still fairly small, and then it's even smaller because I only look at young adult and middle grade. Most people on there kind of lump fantasy, romance, YA together. I am just children's stories. So that helps me get picked up by those who maybe be turned off by those who kind of read more adult to young adult, because I am just focusing on that age range. And just a quick update. So like I mentioned, I found great success in what I need from Fiverr, and I've actually earned so far in 2024 half on Fiverr what I've earned at my day job. Which, if you watched my 2024 goals video, that was all I was asking for. I think I was asking for like 25% of my income to come from Fiverr, and if it keeps going the way it is, it's going to be closer to 40 to 50% of my yearly income, which is fantastic considering this is my secondary income. So I am very happy, very pleased with that. I think most individuals jump on Fiverr and they expect that instant success in that 3 to 6 months that you were able to do when it first started, because you still had corporations who still wanted employees versus freelancers, and now they're shifting over to freelancers because of course they're saving money on paying employees, like that hourly rate, insurance, medical, things like that, 401ks. So if you start offering services and you focus it as a secondary income, I think you'll be much happier. You will find a lot more measurable success, and you also won't be stressed when things are slow. So seasonality for me, basically last summer was super heavy. I was seeing like, 4-digit income months on Fiverr, and this year I think between June, July, and August I may have made 1,000, versus spring was super heavy and spring last year was very slow. So it just depends. There's really not a way to kind of gauge when your clients are going to find you, especially when you're brand new and you don't have a client list to kind of reach out to someone, say, hey, do you have another job you need me to do? So I think just treat it as a secondary income versus this primary. You're going to make 6 figures in your first year, and you'll be a lot more satisfied with the platform. Lastly, if you are a writer who has somehow stumbled upon this and you write young adult or middle grade, you're welcome to reach out to me either here or over on the Fiverr platform, or even on my Instagram. You can send me a DM. I do have openings pretty much in everything. Because I work on Fiverr, I don't plan things out. So if you need someone to beta read within the next week or 2, I am available for that. Or copy editing even. If you book with me, I usually do 3 to 4 weeks per copy editing project. But I have done, as I said, 2.5% of all my orders in the last 2 years were copy editing. So that is always something I have time for. So let me know down below, go check me out on Fiverr if you need any of the services. Also, I've got 3 poetry collections out. The books are in my bag, so I don't have them out, but I'll post them somewhere up here. So Daughter of the Bottle is the one that came out in August. It is centered on addiction from the perspective of a child. And it's all modern free verse poetry. And I also have 2 other collections. My debut's birthday is actually coming up on September 26th. I'm very happy about that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the clicky button things. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from